Hello there, Isabella and John. Maura here from Flourish at the Family Centre. And thanks a million for taking the time to have a chat today. Um, I suppose we were really wanting to reach out to people at this time of the coronavirus because it's an unusual time for everybody and a challenging time. And the Flourish service is all about, as adults connecting with their own well-being through developing hobbies and interests and all the ways that we have to keep well. And music and playing music and song and poetry is such a wonderful way for people. So it's really lovely to be able to connect today and just explore that a little bit together. So thanks very much.
Thank
Um,
you. Thanks.
Great. So I just wanted to ask you maybe first, we're very lucky here at Flourish that you both facilitate one of your music circles here, and I know you do it in a number of places. So maybe just to ask a little bit about what is a music circle, how does it look, and what people get from it, maybe just to start.
Thanks, Maura. Yeah, it's basically a group of people that we that have come together to listen to each other, to hear each other singing a song, saying a poem, playing a tune, or just to listen and to support each other in that great event of singing a song. You might only have one song to sing, but you just love the song and you love to sing, but you're afraid to sing. So the support of the community, it would have been an ancient thing. It would have been a very profound feeling of like being witnessed. When every voice, everybody that comes there has a voice. So what everybody else does is witnessing and helps them to express that sound that's in themselves. And it's very healing and also very enjoyable. In the beginning, it can be quite daunting because there's no leader, except there are facilitators like myself and Isabella, but nobody's going to judge it. Nobody's going to say, you're right, you're wrong, you can do better or sing better. It's always accepted that this is exactly where you are in creation and you should be there, and you're giving us this gift of your voice and your song and your life. So it's actually receiving a gift, and it's helping people there to receive, people that come there help each other to receive the gift, because I think we don't allow ourselves to receive the goodness of somebody singing a song for you. To sing a song, I sing songs for people, and it is the greatest compliment or the greatest wonder that somebody receives and listens to me singing a song and say thank you. So it's all based on encouragement, and that's a group of people that get together at a particular time in a safe room environment, and that's what it's like. And we've been doing it for years, all over the world and various places. And it refers back to very old times where people got together in circles and witnessed and encouraged, call and response, helped each other to express their inner sound, who they really are. Even if you don't like the sound of your voice, you'd get to like it because of the encouragement will help you. Like as we love you, we love it, you can love yourself and you can love your own voice, So that's what it's about, really.
Thanks,
And
John.
it works. It works for everyone. Young or old.
And you were talking about the gift of a song there, John, and how it's lovely to listen to it. Would you have, I'm sure you have many songs, but would you like to give a song at the moment? Or
I give a very short song, Maura, that I learned in the national school just up behind the family centre there, one of the first songs. And it also refers to Liz Moran, Kiledon, the village where the person that wrote this, Anthony Raftery wrote this, and he came from Kiledon. And we hold one of the singing circles in the Liz Moran, the O'Dwyer Arts Centre. So it's Kiledon. Learned it in the national school in my first language, or native language. Nishtap nari ben ladel and China, Duration fell bride, or doi me mahiol, or kun me malkiani, nistopi me quia, Gushasa me shias in our conduio. Eat Lord and Warish, best me and Kedia, Signalan Jeffista, Osos me goal. Culchima cracket conyen at Lord be a son, Evo is Gavila, Gavel all war. O fágan na hóte gon Irene Macrisha, mar Irene an Gwyn mar scapas an Kyo, nor sweeney mar Karen nor galan che fiesta, scahap cofila nor flanti weo. Kiled on Malja, a Vossen got Nian, Tas Meer Sukrivan, is Master got fort. Is the Manche Mo Hasu, the Gart Lord Maguine, Jimo Conish Jim, is the Vine Marish. Oh,
Oh, thank you, John. That was just gorgeous.
national.
The other thing, just to ask, and Isabella, if you'd like to come in here, I know a lot of people will be watching this and loving listening, but probably feeling, God, I could never do that, or whether we often all believe that type of inner voice that says I couldn't play or I couldn't sing. And I remember, Isabella, you describing how you picked up an instrument for the first time in your 30s, and I felt so inspired by that God, any of us maybe can start, because people often feel they're too old as well at young ages. So just maybe your advice around how to encourage people and to maybe begin or to pick up something or go back to something. What advice would you have?
It is true, Maura, that I only started playing music at the age of 32. It is also true that I have had a deep, lifelong connection to music. And I think that's actually a very common thing, that connection is already there, and it's good for people to just recognize that. As you know, I was born in Peru, which is a country full of culture. And I myself became a visual artist and made a lifelong commitment as a child to the arts. And when I met John, I was working at art museums in the United States, mainly with contemporary collections and Latin American collections. And John was on tour with the music. And when we met, we started collaborating across the art forms right away. And that's something we've done up to now. And a few years after we met, I started to have a huge interest in traditional Irish music, which I had never heard before. John was the first person that I started hearing the really true traditional music. And John started to teach me the fiddle. And the traditional music, of course, is highly developed, the Irish music, and very, very beautiful. And John taught me, started to teach me through listening and through ear. And that is a way, an approach that suited me and also suited my interest in the music. John has developed teaching to all levels and to different people's personalities. And that is one thing I would say, if anybody has tried to learn before and they felt that they didn't have an ability or that they were not good at it, it might have just been that the approach was not correct for that person's way of learning and understanding the world. So now that we are talking about our own artistic development, Maura, I would love to hear, I know that I've heard you singing beautiful songs and writing beautiful poems, and I know that you have written a poem in the last 2 days, and we'd love to hear it.
Thank you, Isabella. I'll share a poem I wrote yesterday called Stopping, and it was just what struck me about this time where we are all adhering to the guidelines of staying at home. And after I wrote it, I realized the inspiration for it was a lovely neighbor of mine who passed away recently, an older man who used to go to town once a week on a Friday, and that satisfied him. And I could never, that always amazed me, because that would have been difficult to satisfy me. So I'd love to offer this. I haven't had the chance to learn it yet, so I'll read it. So it's called Stopping. I hadn't fully realized how on the go we were, even though I often said it to people. How someday I would drive the 12 kilometers 3 times to town and back, each journey seemingly so necessary. This constant drive to keep it all going, the music lessons, the sport, and of course the endless shopping trips, often not being quite sure what it was I needed. That's the biggest change for me now, simply being at home, sometimes for a whole day or more. I think of not too long ago when they only went to town once a week, and it was a big trip, a social event even. I'm sure they dressed up, prepared well, so not to waste the effort it took to travel or walk in. They must have looked forward to meeting others, sharing their news and making sure to bring home the tasty bit of news to last the whole week. That trip to town and mass, that was it really. Maybe an odd dance too. The rest of the time was spent in the rhythm of the home, out in the land, doing the jobs, quietening at night, and then finally blessed sleep. So in this time, we find ourselves of staying inside. I wonder, are they somewhere smiling, saying, it's about time they all stayed at home and rested a while. These whispers from those past guiding us to take this time to quieten down, steady the racing mind, breathe a little deeper, and to come home to ourselves and each other. It's worth thinking about. So thanks a million. That's my little offering into the circle.
Thank you. Lovely.
The other question I thought would be lovely just to ask you was just, I'm sure you have a vision or an idea of how music and all you're doing could be in the world to help us all, because in Flourish we see that, and there's so much research behind this now, that anything that is good for us, that we enjoy and that connects us with others is so good for our health. So it's like the natural remedy, and as you said, John, it's ancient. So I'm just wondering what your vision would be, or if you have a vision for how it could be more in the community, or yeah, just something around that.
Well, the big vision would be cooperation instead of competition, and then also compassionate sharing, because artistic processes are often individual and they arise from inside ourselves. But then they're not complete until they are shared, communicated. And that is what the music circle gives the point at which that can be completed. But it can also be received in a compassionate way, which means that the person who we really are inside can be witnessed. And we also have the honor and privilege of witnessing who other people truly are inside. And therefore that makes a true connection. We actually also, both of us, work with sound healing and sound therapy. And a lot of that work also addresses this very thing, that the natural humanity that we have, that the arts and our voices are of our very, very essence. And the ability, the more we use them, the more it helps our development.
And also, Maura, the simple, practical event, or simple, practical singing a song of our own choice, a song that we really love. It can be any song, but quite often it can refer back to a time in our lives that was very special, or, you know, just singing that song for us is as good as, it's the highest form of prayer, of praise, and it's like nourishment for the soul, particularly these times, when times are hard, that we sing, you know, despite everything, we just sing the song. And secondly, we're listened to by somebody. So the active decision to sit down and listen to somebody sing a song, and they can sing something that I know very well, but I hear them sing it and I realize there's something happening here. They're singing from the heart. And when I do that and keep doing it, you know, and pass it on to somebody else and somebody else and somebody else, when I do that, I like to sit down and listen to children make up stories, you know, to listen to people, you know, to see somebody dance, just to dance, you know, of their own making. It's the greatest gift that I can do is to them, is to listen to them. And the greatest gift I can give is to sing to a person, you know, and say, here's a song for you now. And it's the best thing I can do for myself also, which is something that a lot of people mightn't know or understand, but I think once they start to sing, they understand it at a level. So it's within us all. We're all notes, and when each person sings out this note, we're all part of a symphony, like a world of sound, a symphony, you know. And that's what happens when we sing in this music circle, or as we sing now. So thank you.
Thank you, Maura.
for having us,
Thank you.
Maura.
That's a lovely way to wrap it up, really. And I hope our chat has, might inspire people in this, particularly in this time, maybe to pick up an instrument or start one or write a piece. You never know how it'll encourage it. And I'm sure you want to wish well to all people, and especially the music circle community, to keep well at this time. So we might just send that message out to them all. And thank you so much for your time. That was really lovely to just kind of take a few minutes and stop, like the poem said, and just have a chat about it. So thanks a lot, and best wishes.
Thank you.